Hi, making this video blog because I wanted to talk about this young Tampa Bay Buccaneers team that isn't getting nearly enough respect in the media. And Mark Dominic, the Bucs GM, who's just done a fantastic job over his 3 years, 3 drafts that he's had to just acquire young talent to build around. I mean, he's acquired a franchise quarterback in Josh Freeman, Pro Bowl tight end and Kellen Winslow for a second-round pick. Guys like Mike Williams, Gerald McCoy, Cody Grimm, Roy Miller, Myron Lewis, Sammy Strouder, Dakota Watson, E.J. Biggers, LeGarrette Blount in college free agency. It's ridiculous the amount of young talent Dominic has been able to acquire for Raheem Morris, and it looks like he's done it again with this 2011 draft class. Heading into the draft, there was one obvious need for the Tampa Bay Buccaneers, and that was defensive end. Everyone knew it. I was curious to see what they were going to do because I was thinking that the defensive end run would lead to them not having that much of a choice at 20. Excuse me, I got a bad cough. And they ended up having Adrian Clayborn follow him. Adrian Clayborn was thought of as a top 10, top 15 pick had he come out last year. He has the Erb's palsy, which, it's something that he's learned to deal with, and it doesn't affect him on the football field. So I don't think it's going to be that much of an issue because he's been dealing with it and playing phenomenal for his entire life. Daquan Bowers was a guy that a lot of people thought would go number 1 overall just a couple months ago, and then this sort of knee injury thing kind of surfaced, and a lot of teams obviously shied away from him. Daquan Bowers, you watch him on tape, this guy looks like a number 1 overall pick. He's big, he's athletic, he dominates the line of scrimmage. He plays the run, he plays the pass. A phenomenal player, and he slid to 51 in the second round because of this knee injury. I think the knee could be okay. I did a little research about it. I'm a big fan of Bauer's talent. I did a little research. He hurt the knee in the North Carolina State game towards the end of this past college football season. He played on it. The Florida State game, he was amazing. You can watch the tape. He was playing with the knee injury before the surgery in that game, and he was phenomenal. You can check it out on YouTube. There's basically highlights from just that game. He had the surgery, and less than 2 weeks later, or whatever, or maybe it was a couple months later, he's having his pro day, and he's running, in sub 5 at 280 pounds or whatever, and he's obviously still rehabbing, and everyone freaked out and passed on him. I really think he can be a steal for Tampa Bay, and it's just nuts how Dominic is just able to just sort of get these guys, just slide to him. It's crazy. And the rest of the draft was pretty good too. I mean, Mason Foster I like. He's a downhill linebacker, a very high floor type of pick in the sense that, at the very least, he's going to be a very versatile backup linebacker who can be a special teams ace. And he kind of reminds me of Zach Thomas, so I think there's potential as a starter. I like him as a middle linebacker. He doesn't blow up blockers or blow up running backs, but he plays downhill and he sifts through traffic and gets to the ball carrier on pretty much every play, it seems like. He was second in the nation in tackles. Beyond Foster, Luke Stalker. Again, a pick that I really like just because Tampa Bay had to address this sort of second tight end need that they had beside Kellen Winslow. Getting a guy that can both block and catch the football, and that's what Stalker is. He's a guy that's going to step in and play that position right away. And maybe he's not going to be a Pro Bowler down the line, but he can play as a second tight end right away, and he's going to be good at it. And he's going to probably be good at it for the next decade, hopefully. For the Bucs' sake, Ahmad Black in the 5th round, I love him. I mean, he's a phenomenal player. You watch him in college, the guy was brilliant. He was a real stud. He fell to the 5th round because of his measurables. He didn't measure big and he didn't measure fast or time fast. But you watch him play, the guy's fast on the football field. And you watch him play, he plays big. He knocks guys out that are way bigger than him. And, he's just he's a beast, man. And he fell to the 5th round. The Bucs were able to get him. And like Foster, at the very worst, he's a versatile backup in the defensive backfield and special teams ace. And the upside is that, he figures out how to be that player in college in the NFL. So, I really like that pick. Alan Bradford, he's a guy, I guess maybe an insurance policy for Blunt. Great size, real good speed for, a 240-pound guy. Ran in the 4.5s. Bucs said they're collecting big backs. He falls in line with that. And, guys get hurt. So it's good to have a guy that you can kind of plug in as sort of that Blunt type in case anything happens to Blunt, God forbid. Daniel Hardy, he looks like an athlete on tape. I don't really know much about him, but, he's a 7th-round pick. Tight ends can usually play special teams well. What's not to like? Gaitor, this is one of those picks where Dominic is really working with his situation, with having Raheem Morris as your coach. Because when you have Raheem Morris as your coach, you just give him some kind of talent to work with, and he'll make that player into a player. You look what he's done with E.J. Biggers, Tenard Jackson. Everyone he gets his hands on turns out to be good. So why not address defensive backs in the later rounds? So I don't really know much about Gaitor, but it'll be interesting to see what Morris can do, and if he can do the same thing with him that he's done with E.J. Biggers. Anyway, the point of this video blog is just to put some positive attention on this young Bucs team because they're not getting enough respect. And the collection of young talent that they've acquired over these last 3 years since Dominic has taken over, it's something to be admired, and so it's a blueprint for other teams to follow. So I just hope everyone's paying attention, and they definitely will be, because if there's a season this year, I have a good feeling Tampa Bay could be in the playoffs, and they're a young team to watch out for. Anyways, peace.